Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back again. Must be Wednesday. Good to see you all. Hope you're having an awesome week so far. We're about halfway through it, theoretically. Of course, if you own your own business, you know, every day is basically Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
But it's always good to see you. Hey, if you haven't joined us before in the Zoom call, you can come on in if you want. You know, I just post the link to the Facebook page. You can just click on it and come on in here and hang out, chat, or you can just sit quietly. Whatever you're into, man. We're not going to judge you, at least not out loud. Anyways, how you guys doing? What's going on? Anything fun and exciting happening out there?
Tried to recruit a new guy tonight. I was on our page earlier, Justin Martinez from Colorado. So I'm hoping he logs on tonight. It's always good to get new blood on here.
Absolutely.
So I
agree completely.
So I got a story for you. So every Friday I go out to a pizza place just up the street from my house. Get a sandwich, have a glass of wine, and this guy comes in and I look at him and he's got a little girl with him and he says, "Hey Tim, how's it going?" And I look at him, "Okay, who are you?" It was Chance.
Really?
Oh,
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, Chance is in the area now, man. He's living down in your neighborhood, actually.
Yeah, he lives right up on the hill above me. I guess he had to come out for his daughter to.
Yeah, he's slumming it down there in Carmel.
Yeah.
I got to actually have lunch with him one day last week. It was really cool.
Yeah,
he's a great guy, man. He's if you get a chance to hang out with him, you should.
Yeah, I was looking at him. Okay, who are you?
Is he still partnered with Brandon at all?
Oh yeah. Those guys are still working together. Yeah, they're tearing it up.
Yeah.
Well, I knew he had issues with his daughter, so I didn't know if he had to take a leave of absence or if there were.
No, I asked him what he was doing. He says just working online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's a smart kid. He's smart.
Oh yeah, but how often does that happen?
Absolutely, yeah, and he's a workaholic, you know. So,
Tim, they're probably going to make you an offer shortly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Scoping out the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was looking.
Did you buy him a pizza?
No, he already ordered it and paid for it. So.
All right.
Yeah. Right on. That's cool. Yeah. So I finalized all my plans for Vegas.
You did.
Got my flight booked. Got my room all booked. Bam. So that's all.
So did you book through the NGA?
I did not.
You did not. So are you staying in a different hotel or is?
I'm staying at the Strat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's about like 2 miles from the convention center.
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I talked to Keith. He plans on going. I plan on going. Donna's going. So we'll try and put something together, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can ask Matt or Andrew if there's a meeting room at the convention center, unless you want to do a hotel and dinner or something at night for our group.
Wow, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
hey,
let's you and me talk offline and put something together, man.
Yeah.
There's Justin. See him.
What's going on, man?
You're muted, Justin.
He's driving.
How's Colorado?
You're on mute, Justin. Can you find the mute button?
Without crashing.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you guys for the invite. Hello.
Hey, glad to have you, man. Where are you at?
Fort Collins, Colorado right now.
Fort Collins. That's like kind of my wife's old stomping ground. She used to live in the like Denver area, and I know like in Fort Collins in particular for a while back in the day.
Yeah, I'm heading back to Denver. just helped one of the guys do a huge mirror install at a really awesome guy's house. So the truck's already beating me back to Denver, so I'm coming behind.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you could log in, man. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you guys for the invite and the
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah, well, you should talk a little bit about yourself and, you know, where you're at, what you do and stuff like that.
I'd be happy to. So I started Colorado Glass and Mirror in 2014 out of a garage, believe it or not, and just continued grinding. There was no plan B. There were no it was no other option but to be.
Uh-oh. Losing your audio there.
That we got, and we built our company on integrity and doing the right thing and just trying to really truly treat everybody like family. And we say, you know, when I go to an appointment, I'm looking at you like my sister or my aunt or an uncle, and I would just treat the way that I would want somebody to treat my family or treat myself. So we have 9 employees now. Actually, and then two that are kind of come and go. They're handing in, but they're learning glass, so they help us out. But we're we're humble, but we're powerful, and we're extremely proud. And we're not perfect, but we strive to be every day.
Yeah, man.
What more can you ask for, right?
Right.
So how long have you been in business now?
November of 2014.
All right. Right on. So how long did it take you to get out of the garage?
We got out of the garage in about, I would say about 4 to 5 months. We got out of the garage into our first storefront, and then we grew out of that storefront. We're in a beautiful building now with offices on one side and a shop on the other side. And I think it's about 5,000 square foot office and shops that we're in right now. And I'm noticing that we're actually outgrowing that as well.
Fantastic.
It's awesome.
Explosive growth.
Love to hear that, Justin. Love it. And with your attitude, you're going to continue to grow because you're treating people right, and the word will get out there. Good job.
And how we got into it, or how I got into it, was, and I have my very first installer with me still to this day. Just because I treat him right and treat him the way he wants to be treated, and that other companies didn't treat him that way. He was a number. He was a truck number, not a person. And I'm like, no, that's a person. He has kids. He has a family, and that's not just a person. That's one of my guys, you know. But I went into business with another guy, and he screwed me out of about $50,000. And so when I realized the bank account was empty, I worked for free for 9 months. I call it the ultimate school of hard knocks. I worked a part-time job to keep my lights on and to keep me fed. And I worked with him full-time for 9 months and didn't see a dime. And when the shit hit the fan, I had landed a big building downtown Denver, about 150 shower doors that I sold all by myself. And I was even paying the guys to help us install them out of my own pocket. And when the shit hit the fan, I told him, you know, it was the most expensive $50,000 he'll ever spend, because I'm going to grow one of the best glass companies in Colorado. And I just pulled my boots up and just hit the ground running. And this is what God has blessed us with.
Amen. Well said. Well said. You know, $50,000 tuition is not bad at the School of Hard Knocks.
No, not bad at all, but I heard we're getting a forgiveness. So, you know, I was hoping to get that back.
So how did you get in the glass business?
No, say that again.
Say, how did you get into the glass business?
Oh, okay. So, you want to hear my rags to riches?
Sure.
This is was truly rags to riches. So I used to shine shoes at the airport, Denver International. And that was truly my education of learning how to treat people and how to interact with janitors, literally all the way to the president of the United States. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying that truthfully. I met every walk of life, movie stars, people walking through, convicts, everybody. And so that was my true school of how to learn the service industry. Well, I met a guy who said, man, you know, just for this platform right now, you got to do something else. And I said, I've been thinking and trying to do something else, but I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I could sell anything. Make more money, I'd be happy to. So I went through his training and started selling. We got a contract from one of the biggest window suppliers in Colorado to service their windows, IG units. And we started doing that. And I was literally humping IGs out of the back of my Escalade and just jacking up the truck and everything. I couldn't really afford anything else like I needed the guy that burnt me glass rack, IG. Have you ever heard of shower doors? Because I needed him to help me take an IG to a customer's house and install it. And he said, have you ever heard of shower doors? And I said, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. They're glass shower doors. They're amazing. They're custom glass shower enclosures. They're called European style. And I said, honestly, bro, I've seen a curtain. I've seen some of the doors that just wiggle real hard. You come with me and install a couple tonight. And that's when the Clips was real big here in Denver. We installed two 180s, and I could tell you the feeling that I felt. I felt it, and I was like, "What the hell? Oh my God!" What's that last polish? And I'm like, "I'm in love. I am purely in love." And from that point forward is when it caught my eye. So that's how I got into it.
That's awesome.
And I never had to go back shining.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, your audio is breaking up a little bit, you know, so you're kind of in and out a little, but I think I'm getting the gist of what you're saying. Yeah, it sounds like, you know, like many of us, you discovered frameless shower enclosures and you fell in love and lived happily ever after.
Yep. And still in love to this day.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It's been years.
Good.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing your story. That's so cool. I mean, so many people think, you know, they have that urge to do something and kind of launch out on their own. You know, I had that urge too, like, you know, like pretty much all of us here about, I'm sure. And so many people think, you know, I can't, you know, there's too much competition, or how can I do it, or whatever, you know, but man, it's worth a try, you know. And it's like, I suppose everybody doesn't succeed, but there's no chance of getting it done if you don't try, that's for sure. So congratulations, man, on throwing it out there, you know. It sounds like it's paying off for you.
It is, and I have some big goals for my team of guys. You know, I definitely want to spread the wealth, and I'm going to get into manufacturing, and I'm going to turn there's a group of my employees, about 4 of them, that I'm going to turn them into business owners. So I'm teaching them the ins and outs of the business. I'm benefiting in 2 ways. 1, they're taking extremely good care of my business, and 2, they're training to run their own business. And I'll be supplying the glass in that time. I have a 5-year plan to get that done. And I don't want to build the best glass company. I want to build the best guys to help me build the best glass company that have their own. There's a lot of business out here, and I'm not afraid of competition. I want us to all be successful and eat very well and have a great life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny, like
That's awesome.
I can remember like back many, many years ago, like when before I got into the industry, actually, my dad was a glazer, right? My dad was a union glazer. And so we moved, according to where the work was. And I was born in Michigan. We moved to Phoenix, Arizona, because Phoenix was booming, right? And this is like the 70s, right? And then Vegas started to boom. And we were living in Phoenix. So my dad was like driving to Vegas, working there like all week, driving home on the weekend. Did that for a few years. Finally, it was like, okay, let's just go to Vegas because that's where it was going. So, but I remember Denver was booming back in those days. And it was like, they were always like, when Glazers were out of work, it was like, oh, Denver is looking for help, And it's crazy, man, that like that never has stopped, has it?
Right.
So yeah, that's a cool spot to be. And the same thing with Phoenix and Vegas too. I mean, those places, Phoenix is still booming, and Vegas is still booming. It's crazy, that there are places like that where the glass flows like water.
Yep.
Right on, man. That's pretty cool. I like talking about shower doors.
Yeah. Me too.
That's why we're here. Right on. So, hey, are you going to Vegas? Speaking of Vegas, you're going to go to Glassville?
I am absolutely
awesome.
going to. I'm taking my right hand man with me. We may take my son. My son's a 2-year apprentice, and I mean, speaking about him makes me want to just cry because he's so freaking anal. He wants it perfect. He says, I think my problem is I want it too perfect. I said, that'll never be a problem. That's actually, that's the best quality you can have in a glazer. You don't walk away till it's done right. So I think I'm going to actually take those 2 guys with me and just go have a good little educational experience and go, hopefully meet you guys. And I'm super excited. I'm so thankful to be able to do that, to take those guys, because my son doesn't even understand what's really going on. But my right hand man's been in the business. He's been installing shower doors. I think it's been about 25 years now. He's young too. He's about 40. I think he's like 40, 43, 44. But we hired a new guy today, and he said, "Man, I've been installing showers since before you were born." And so
Right.
yeah, the guy's kind of like, shit, okay.
Yeah, but were you doing it right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I actually have him take each one of the guys for a full month of just rehash training and just make sure that just things are done the way we want it done, to keep our reputation intact.
Awesome. Very good. Very good, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. You've got like a lot of energy, man. I like it.
And it's 6:52 p.m.
Yeah, right. You just can't all wound up and like, yeah, I know how it is. Well, cool. Well, who wants to bring up something, a question or comment, a new trick that you learned? I know somebody's itching to say something here.
I got one for the pivot guys out there because you're converting me, but we've got an enclosure to put in, and the pan appears to be like a cast iron pan of some sort. Can you drill down in those? Is there any issues or concerns about that?
Keith,
No
Keith, you want to
problem.
grab it?
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
No, we've drilled them. Go
Drill,
slow.
drill,
Go
drill
slow.
and tap. Drill and tap.
And
Quarter
keep
20,
it-
stainless steel.
keep it cool so the paint on it doesn't peel, bubble.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
Slow. and
Yeah, that
cool.
veneer, there's usually a veneer right over it. If it gets too hot, it'll start to bubble and it'll clam outside of where the hinge will cover.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
And if
Uh,
you do mess it up, it's not the end. I mean, at the time, it'll seem like the end of the world, but there's companies that refinish those tubs, and we've heard about somebody scratching one, and we had to have one fixed one time, and it wasn't a big deal.
All right, thank you.
Can be done. So you guys, you drill and tap. You know, I know that different people do a different way with cast iron. Sometimes guys will just drill and plug it. You know, I guess that works. But I'm a fan of the drill and tap. Hey, how often do you get to drill and tap? You know,
The thing is with the plug, we found if the sweep's really tight or it's just at right, the friction of going back and forth sometimes can cut one of those anchors. And so now you start getting some slop in there. The anchor wiggles through, and it stays out of alignment. The drill and tap is like the way to go. Put a little Loctite on it.
there you go.
So you grind off the porcelain before you drill?
No, use start with a small bit and then just gradually get bigger till the whatever drill size the 1/4-20 mandates. I start one below that and then go up to it.
Mm-hmm. One little trick I like to use when I'm drilling into that is use like a spear point bit, like a tile bit. And then that way you can kind of drill away some of the porcelain, right? And then it kind of clears the way for your drill so you don't catch it and chip it.
Yeah.
Mike, what type of door? Is it like a door and panel?
Yeah, it's going to be a 3/8 door and inline panel, fixed inline panel.
Okay, so there's another option too, if you're not comfortable with that. And you can take the upper pork chop, which is the wall mount bracket, and you can put it on the bottom and drill into the wall.
Oh,
But you'll need to modify your bottom notch because the glass is going to sit up too high. It's going to be a modified notch to sink the glass back down, compensate for that bracket. But there is a way of doing that.
I would advise against that one for two
Tell us
reasons.
why. Tell
One,
us why.
usually the cast iron it'll kind of like round up behind that tile just a little bit. So depending on whose pivot notch you're using, when you try and get your drill gun to sit flat on the tub and go over, you're going to drill through tile and then hit the porcelain, unless it's just above that. But then it throws the bit off.
We choose those that are full of life.
Huh?
I don't know who that was. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Keith. I think that was just background noise.
I mean, you can do it that way, but you're going to drill through tile and porcelain. And if you catch the top of that porcelain, the bit can go anywhere. I've learned that lesson the hard way too. I don't only go down. I mean, you can do it if you have to, but I would go down.
That answer,
good
Mike?
info. Yeah, good info. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever seen is this on a tub or is it a stall?
Stall, showers, stall.
It's a stall. Okay, so you're saying the pan is cast iron? Because usually I only see tubs cast iron.
No, this is a pan.
Cast
It's
iron
cast
pan.
iron and it's got tiled walls.
Yeah.
And when I was measuring, I put my tape down. It has the magnetic thing. It's it's grabbing the my tape was sticking in, and that has a certain look to it. That cast
Sure.
iron has a look and it was obvious. So I'm loving these pivots. My guys are loving these pivots, the less holes and all those things. But I just had a concern about the cast iron. So
Sure. It's a good question though. On those, sometimes they're kind of a rounded too. They're not really flat. So make sure you put the door in the spot so when the water comes down, it's going to shed back in.
yeah, this did have a natural
Pitch.
to it.
Okay.
I always check it with a little level, for the pitch, and it had that. So,
Perfect. Good luck. Take
Thank you.
take some pictures of that before you do it, because it's a good learning experience for everybody.
no. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those I really love those too. I'm using more and more of those pivot hinges. They're just great. At first, it's a little, I don't know, intimidating. I guess just like anything new, if you're not like using them a lot. But the more I use, the more I like them.
we're getting more guys up here. This one custom home builder in particular, who I've been working for years, that every time I go out, he's a Hispanic fella, and he keeps saying, you know, can we get the bigger door? And he's wanting like a 35-inch door. And, you know, for a long time we were hanging them off of the wall. And my engineering background is like, you know, that load needs to be going down. And we've been pivoting for the last year. Everything we do for him, we pivot, and it makes me feel a hell of a lot comfortable, you know, with a 78-inch tall door, 35 inches wide. I sleep a lot better at night.
And that guy must think you're a rock star now. Right? No, really, that's what he wanted. And you were able to provide it for him. And obviously, you know, he must have asked others before he asked you.
Yeah, it's been we great relationship, but like I said, I hate these callbacks. We've all talked about the hinges slipping. We went through a bout of that too. Sure. And it's coming off of that wall, you know, that force. And so since we've been pivoting, we have not had that issue. So
absolutely. Good.
So now CRL doesn't make a pivot hinge that for shower doors that can handle a door that big, do they?
We're up to 30 inches, I believe.
That's what I thought. So whose pivots are you using?
It is CRL, Chris. And I asked the same question. When I send it, I think I've said this before. Our process is cumbersome because I send my drawing and my template into a United Plate Glass out of Pittsburgh, and they use the CR Lawrence software, and they'll let me go up to 35 on that door with the pivots, and it's coming from CR Lawrence. I can't remember the part number at this point, but
there's also a hinge that allows you to go up to 39 inches, I believe, from CR Lawrence and FHC.
A pivot
I've
hinge?
used that a couple of times. 39 inches, yeah.
Not a pivot though. I think it's a wall hinge.
It's a wall hinge.
Yeah,
Oh
Victoria.
yes, you're right. It is a wall mount hinge. You're right.
Which is interesting that some of the wall hinges are rated for a wider door than some of the pivot doors. The pivot hinges, rather.
Hey, the hinges may be rated, but maybe the wall you're hanging off of isn't rated for that weight.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially if there's no studs there.
Yeah.
You know,
As long as the hinges don't fail, I'm good. The house can come down. As long as my door stays up.
And there is no way I would do a 39-inch wall mount. I just wouldn't do it.
What kind of wall anchors are you using? Is everybody using the gray anchors, just the ones that come with it, or is anybody using anything special?
I use the green ones.
The green ones.
I use the green ones, a 1/4 inch from CRL.
The concrete anchors, basically.
Bill and like Rod and the guys made this tile wall in the back of our showroom where it's just tile over green board. And we put 5, maybe 4 different hinges up there, all with different anchors. And one that we found, which is a regular sleeve style anchor, is called a Cobra, I think. Bill, is that what it is? Cobra?
Yeah.
They have them at Home Depot. They're expensive, but they look like a regular anchor, but they're just more robust. And this thing allowed Rod, who weighs 245 pounds, to stand on top of this thing. And it was tile and green board.
Are those the gray? They're like gray and red?
They might have different colors depending on where in the country, but the ones we have are gray.
Or gray. I haven't seen
They're called
red part.
Cobras. I'll find it.
So is that just like a regular? Is that just like a regular concrete anchor? Or is this like a straight like sleeve, or is it got some kind of profile to it, or what?
Let's just go to the next
remind me
subject, and I'll find it and put it in the chat.
All right, cool, awesome.
Yeah, please.
I was looking for a better anchor.
Yeah.
I always worry about that when there's no backing there.
Of course, you have to. Your guys' construction with wood backing, or you use metal studs? It's wood studs, right, in Colorado?
Wood studs everywhere. And, you know, the reason I have those handymen on my team too, is because I let the customer know if we can go around the backside, if we have to, if there's a closet or something there, we could make that extremely robust for them as well. Obviously, if it's an exterior wall, we can't do it, but I always check because I actually have trained all my contractors now to give me that support. So I'm not worried about that. It's the homeowners where I'm coming in blind, but that happened today. So I said, if we have any worries, you know, the higher you go, the more concern I have in case we have to go back behind here and cut this wall out. We'll get it solidified for you.
Yeah, the other aspect is if you're doing the homeowner and you're doing a removal, taking out a frame door, you don't know what's behind there.
Sure.
And when they put it framed in, they didn't care because it didn't really need much support.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the funny part of different parts of the country. Like in Florida, it's metal studs.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know what other part of the countries use metal studs. I would imagine maybe from the Carolinas or Georgia South, but I think up Virginia's all wooden studs. Billy was wooden studs in North Carolina.
Jersey too.
We have all wooden studs out here unless it's a high rise or something, then they go to metal.
That's true.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so
So
they're
what do you
using
guys do when you hit the metal framing?
We drill through it and then still anchor it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're right into a metal stud, yeah, we'll drill right through the metal stud, still put our anchor in. If you have enough depth, we also have the mollies that'll open up in there and hold it.
Yeah,
But-
because those metal studs are only like a 16th thick.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I did a high rise. Actually, I had a couple different customers in this one high rise in Pacific Grove, and that was the first time I ever ran into that. You know, metal studs. We don't, you know, they don't use them in residential here. I mean, unless it's a really kind of high end home. You know, sometimes they use like commercial grade stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had to drill. I had to drill through the tile and then I hit the stud. So they had studs behind where all the doors went, which was good, but they were metal. So then I just had to take an airplane bit, you know, to drill through the studs. So I had to, you know, drill. The first one was a bear because it was like started with a, you know, masonry drill and like hit something. I was like, thought I was hitting a nail the first time. It was like, oh man. You know, I'm hitting a nail or a screw or something. So I went to the next hole and it was like, had the same thing. So like, oh, okay, obviously I'm not just hitting nails every time I'm drilling. There's a metal stud back there. So yeah, I had to drill, you know, 3/16 inch masonry drill. And then fortunately I had some, you know, some long drill bits. Just, I mean, what would you use those for? I mean, normally in shower roof, you know, but just happen to have some in my kit. And so, yeah, I just had to drill with, you know, first masonry drill, then with those high-speed steel drill, and worked out pretty good. Actually, it was like pretty stout.
Let me ask you, Chris, do you kind of have a procedure or in your mind, what do you do as soon as you go in and you hit something metal? What's the first thing you do?
I'd say a prayer.
Yeah. No kidding. That you're not drilling in the back of an electrical circuit breaker box.
Yeah, you're not drilling into a cover plate that's
Yeah.
wire.
Or a conduit.
Nobody would put one of those there.
No. I had a customer put a plumbing line in his curb. And you go down and drill you're drilling in a pivot and all of a sudden water squirting up. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Oh,
It's a homeowner job.
Of course.
But
You know that purple stuff that you guys might not know because of the demographic that you're in, but we're in the mountains. There's a purple liquid that warms. I guess warms the floor, warms the walls, warms everything. We hit it in the mountains. Homeowners nowhere to be found. We got purple shit flowing everywhere. Everywhere. And the guys are full of purple shit. It was bad. It was so bad. And
I get grape juice.
Yeah, they called me like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. I shut the water off. I don't know. Oh my God.
The purple juice valve.
And then find the shut off.
At School of Hard Knocks honors grade.
Yeah.
Honors level.
Yeah, extracurricular.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, we did a commercial job once where we had to come in and cut in the floor closures in the concrete because the
Yeah.
slab was already poured. And so I hired a guy and he came in and cut in the boxes. He comes over and says, come here. He cut in, all the conduits were running through where the closure boxes went.
Mm.
And I went to the superintendent and says, you know, these aren't automatic doors. I don't need power. You know, they had to jackhammer out the whole slab and move everything to accommodate the, you know, the rifts and closure boxes.
Gee.
Sure. Sure.
Hey, look, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
look at that. And that's called a Cobra anchor.
So as that screw goes in, it pulls the bottom
Ooh,
half
Keith.
up. You see there's a slot in the body
Mhm.
there. So it
Yeah,
pulls it up
I've
and
used
spreads
those
out.
before on, you know, putting mirror channel on the walls.
There you go.
They are really solid.
But are you guys using those if there is no studding? You're letting that support the door or the
Yeah.
the hinge?
Yeah.
Keith, you're muted.
Depends how big the door is. If it's a bigger one and there's no stud, we'll do what Justin said. We'll cut a hole. You know,
Yeah.
we've usually already prepped them on that, but I forget what height we can go up to. Those things are solid. They are solid.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good to know.
those were a good find.
I'll buy them.
Would you say, Vito?
No, I'm just saying that I'm gonna buy some of them.
Yeah. They're good to keep in your toolbox just in case, you know.
Talking about installation, does someone of you guys, do you guys like give your installs for like a third party installers or just whatever you guys have in the house?
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, I'm sorry, you guys outsource the installation. I mean, you guys subcontract
No.
the installation.
No.
I've sure thought about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I've said I've sure thought about it. I mean,
Mhm.
it would be a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
From the it's I guess depends on your business model. We wouldn't. It's not a good one for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. You
Because of
guys have-
repairs, and you know, if you're trying to have a certain culture and brand, you're really taking a giant risk on someone that's really not kind of committed to the same mission that you are. Maybe they're even better, but you know, can you afford to take that risk?
Right.
Yeah, because the customer
Correct.
is going to come back to you and says you recommended them. You're
What
responsible.
happens if they break the tile? Who pays?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're subbing them, you've done more than recommend them. You know, you're responsible.
Oh, that's your guy. As
That's
far as the
right.
Yeah,
customer is
they're-
concerned, that's
Yeah.
your guy.
You own
Sir-
it.
Service
tell you.
calls too, guys. Service
Yeah.
calls.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
We
that's
try to
why I've
send-
only thought of it and never actually done it.
No.
Well, Chris, it opens up a whole nother can of worms too, because guys that would sub it out, you would give them a 1099. At some point, the government comes to you and say, well, let me see, are they truly employees? Or are you just calling them subs to get around having to withhold tax? So they just hired 87,000 new IRS agents, and they're going to be looking for ways, and they're going to go after small businesses. That's one of the first things they look at is, are you avoiding paying the employee tax? One of the first things to go after. So they look for guys that sub things out to 1099s.
Mhm.
It's one of the first things they look at. So that's why the other thing, we just said, no, we're not even going to put ourselves in that category. Not even going to do it. But
Yeah.
Keith's right on the other end. You want somebody to buy into the team culture. You're building a culture. So you want the impression of the company. And when you sub it out, you have no control over that. You don't know how they dress. If they smoke and they go in the guy's house smelling terrible, how they act to people.
Or they tell your builder, I can just start doing this myself. Just call me
Yeah.
from now on. You don't need to call Victor.
Yeah, this is one of
Yeah.
my biggest concerns.
That's
That
a
happens
great point.
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time.
Great point.
And it's not that they can't leave you and go on their own, even if they're your employee. They could still do that, but there's less chance of it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because as a sub, they're already on their own, technically. So they got nothing to lose there.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, that's even like having an employee that works for you. He wants to go out on his own and he starts telling everybody, don't call my company, call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll start bad talking you and stuff.
That happens a lot, you know.
Mhm.
What, people bad talking about you, Tim?
No,
Oh,
Not Tim,
I
but,
thought you
I
meant
was just,
that.
I was just saying, I mean, my stepson's a flooring contractor and he had his cousin working for him. And he decided to go on his own and he went all to my stepson's, you know, contacts,
Sure.
you know, took them all, took them away, but then he got them back. So that does happen.
It's all part of business. And that's the thing. You got to build a culture where they're not going to get enticed away.
Yeah.
You know, because someone's going to offer them $1 an hour more somewhere. But is it worth it if they have a culture? We lost guys because somebody offered them $2 an hour more and they left. We're not going to hold them hostage. Then he comes back and he says, well, what they didn't tell me is they only guaranteed me 25 hours a week. You know, we were giving them 40 plus overtime. So the $2 an hour, of course, you can pay somebody $2 an hour more if you're not going to give them 40 hours a week.
No benefits, no room for growth, no training.
But, you know, the kid was young. He didn't know enough to ask those questions. All he knew is the per hour. That's it.
You know, I had one kid working for him, actually was my daughter's boyfriend at the time. And my contractor and my competitor hired him away. He's going to give him this, he's going to get him that, do everything. And it didn't work out. You know.
Yeah.
So he went off on his own into, I think, Montana or Idaho and started his own glass shop.
What's his name? Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about kind of what Justin was talking about earlier about, you know, taking care of employees. And, you know, people think about, you know, I really got to take care of my customers. You know, I got to take care of my customers. And they kind of forget, you know, that your employees are your customers. Your employees, you're selling them something. You're selling them your business. You're selling them your a career, you know. And people don't look at it like that, but you need to look at it like that if you have employees, man. They're people who you want to keep. And Keith is just so right. I mean, if you take care of people, people don't want to quit their job. I mean, even if people got a job that sucks, they'll stay there just because they're too lazy to go someplace else. A lot of times, you know, not all the time, but a lot of times, for the most part, if someone's got a job, you know, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And if, like, you can do one of two things, you can take advantage of that, you know, and treat people like crap because, you know, it's a pain in the ass for them to go someplace else. Or you can really capitalize on the fact that, you know, they're going to be loyal to you if you take care of them, and just do that. Just go ahead and take care of them, you know. And the truth is, you know, if you're not treating your employees good, you're probably not treating your customers good. You know, if you're not taking care of your employees, you're probably short-shrifting your customers and your vendors and everybody else. Man, it's kind of hard to be, you know, righteous with one group and not the next. You know, in my experience, not that I've ever done anything wrong myself.
I heard a podcast from this guy one Saturday morning. His name's Keith. I don't know if you guys know him or not.
I know a lot of people named Keith.
This dude, Keith, you had me on fire on a Saturday morning. I could not wait to go back to work. Do you remember that podcast you did with it's a gentleman that's, I think he was in the glass business, and he is starting some type of I don't know, some type of CRM or something like that. And you did a podcast with him, and you said, you told about the culture that you build, and that you told the employees, I work for you. That's who I work for. Man, if that didn't weigh, that was the heaviest just passage that I've ever heard from anybody, Keith. And I'm being 100%, I'm not blowing smoke or trying to toot your horn, but I have never heard anything so valuable in my life. I took it back to my guys, and a couple of them were just floored. They said, I've never heard an employer tell me that. And it meant so much to me. You stole my heart by that. And I couldn't, it's Saturday freaking morning and I can't go to work because I'm going to see a customer and I want to just work. And I'm like, I don't want the weekend to be here. I want Monday to be here. I cannot wait to you had me on fire.
That's cool.
So I appreciate that.
That's cool.
That's cool. I got that from Jack. That's Jack Welch, man. He was the best. Nobody built better culture than Jack Welch with GE, and that's where I got that from. And it's so true. But most people aren't humble enough to take that road. But when you do, that's when you're able to start scaling the business, and people aren't leaving. And matter of fact, what they end up doing is they start watching out all the other employees for you, especially when it really works. And most people can't do it, but it's true. It's true. It's true.
I'm actually thankful for today to tell you thank you for that day. So
you made my day. It's cool.
Nice.
We're listening, Keith. We're listening, buddy. We're listening.
Cool.
Justin, you're
make
going to
it cry.
crush it. You're going to crush it, Justin. You got the right attitude.
Yeah.
You're going to crush it.
Sounds like he's already crushing it, man.
Thank you.
Nine employees.
I'm still under construction, guys. I'm a work in progress. I'm still under construction.
Physically, you look like a beast, though. I mean, you look big. Perfect glass guy, right?
I'm not a little guy by any means, but yeah, I'm a big teddy bear, though.
Accounts receivable.
Yeah, right. That's what I like.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, man, there's inspiration out there, I mean, we've got a great group right here. I mean, it blows my mind. I've got to pinch myself every Wednesday. It's like to get to hang out with you guys and just the inspiration that you give me and all the time, man. It's just incredible. I don't know where I could go or how much I could pay, just to get like this kind of, insight and advice, man. It's just awesome.
A lot of people think that it's the glass industry's Facebook page, but really, if you're a business owner, any business, treating employees in your company like you work for them works. It doesn't matter if you're a carpenter, a sheetrocker, you don't even have to be in the trades. Just anything, a restaurant owner, just work with your staff. Let them know that you care about them. They'll run through walls for you.
Yeah.
So it's not just for the glass industry, it's for any industry. It's just people skills.
Yeah.
It's people skills.
You make a great point, because it's not whether you're in the glass business or some other business, all these same principles apply.
Yeah.
And it's like, I might not always be in the glass business, like I'm Greek, and I've been fighting the urge to open a restaurant ever since I was a little kid, And I don't know, one day it might catch up with me.
Well, if you want to cook for us in Vegas, I'll buy the food.
All right, I'll bring some pans.
You bring some pans, tell us what and you cook.
Heck yeah, man.
Or bring your guitar.
Oh yeah, I'll bring all that stuff. Nice.
How many other guys are going to go? We never did get a count of who's going. Justin's going, Keith, you, me, Mike, Tim,
I
Vader?
can't make it this year.
Mike won't.
Unfortunately.
No. Tim?
I'm still not sure, but I don't think so that I'm going,
No?
unfortunately.
I haven't seen Billy or Greg in a few weeks. Brian, you're going to be able to make it?
I will not be there. No.
No? Okay. Fully understand.
Yeah.
Brian, you haven't been saying too much. How's your new shop going? You outgrowing that yet?
Not quite. It's getting crammed in there. But I'm still working out of there. The racks are, they were pretty filled up last week. I've been kind of picking away at it little by little. I mean, it's a good location for me now. If hopefully in the next year and a half, I'll be looking to get out of there. That's my thought anyway, but it's working. It's good. Yeah,
Good,
everything's good.
You're crushing it. I'm looking at the jobs you're posting. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, we did a pretty cool steamer today. It was fun. It was a little technical. There were, the ceiling was out in all kinds of different directions. So it was, it took a lot of brain power, but we got it done and 100% caulked, ready to go. And we'll be going back there on Friday, I think, to do another door notch panel with a angled return. So it's good. We're busy. We're busy.
Guys, yeah, I'm working with you.
It's just me and another guy. 2 guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Small crew.
Yeah, I love the swimming pool fence that you guys did this last week. That was
my God.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That outdoor glass fence.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was cool. Yeah, that was a fun project. Yeah, I helped a buddy of mine. We've worked together on and off for, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe 15 years now. So,
Wow.
yeah, we got called up to Chappaqua, New York to give a hand setting all that stuff. It was a cool project. It was fun.
Mhm.
Nice.
That is very popular in Australia, right? What about in Florida?
Keith will answer it.
Yes. Not enough people are doing it, but it is popular. People pay for, a lot of people pay for the view down here. So no better product to showcase that view than glass.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially low iron post polish SGP interlayer.
Yeah, dogs run into it, They go out in the backyard and they think they can run and boom right into the glass. I'm reading Max's stuff and they're talking about bird-friendly glass on the skyscrapers and all that. And say, man, we got to watch out for dog-friendly glass on the ground.
I see Dana Higginbotham's in the chat, over on Facebook. He says he's going to glass build.
He's going? Oh, good.
Nice.
Make sure he looks us up. I haven't met him in person, so I'd like to meet Dana.
Yeah.
And Glasgow is in October, right?
Yes. I think it starts on the 18th.
Oh, okay.
Which happens to be my birthday, FYI. If you
Oh,
guys
yeah,
are out
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
go
jump
see-
out of a cake for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
in Vegas, girls pop out.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
can't wait
I
to
can't
see
erase. I
this.
can't erase that image now.
I need
jump
some.
out of my Santa suit.
Yeah, I need a little pop in my social media. It's be like Kim Kardashian jump out of the cake.
Yeah, anything can happen, but in Vegas, you might want to check carefully.
Yeah.
Make sure it's Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so Brian,
Yes.
what was that channel set on in the grass? Was it a concrete base or?
So they had dug a trench earlier on, and laid a concrete curb. I think they went 8 by 8, 8 wide, 8 deep, maybe 10 deep. I forget.
Yeah.
And then they anchored a pressure treated 2x6 to that, and then we mounted the shoe down through the 2x6 into the concrete footing.
So that was pour stone you poured it with, or?
We started to do the pour rock. Yeah. We didn't help finish with that, which was fine with me because that stuff's a pain in the neck sometimes.
That's it. A lot of pour stone.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, look good.
Yeah, it came out cool. We got to go back. I think we're going to be going back in 2 weeks and set. We had one more piece of glass to set, a notch piece that went over There was like a rock ledge at the far end of it. So we got to get a notch piece to go over that rock ledge, and so we'll be going back for that. I think the glass was it 42 tall by 119 wide. It's a pretty big piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what was the total run of that?
The total run, I'm not sure. I'd have to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
We need the run and the price, or just the linear foot price would work too.
Yeah. No, that's fun. That stuff is fun to do.
Yeah. I miss doing stuff like that. And it's good to get a break and just be outside all day, getting tan, getting sweaty, getting dirty, getting out of people's bathrooms for a little bit, mix it up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Variety. That's the spice of life, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. There you go. Nice.
There you go. There's my Santa suit that I'm gonna jump out of your birthday cake at.
Yes, please.
He's been
You
very
won't do
naughty.
it. You won't do it.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
He's been very naughty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got proof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bill, when you go to Vegas, where are you staying?
I didn't get any rooms yet. But I know if Donna's going, we usually will go to either Venetian or Bellagio.
Nice.
Usually that's what we're going to do.
I like New York, because of the Gallagher Steakhouse.
Ah, there you go.
Nice.
Hey, there's a good restaurant. If you've ever been to Giada's De Laurentiis restaurant, it's phenomenal.
Where is
It's
it
right
at?
on this, right on the strip. It's in an old hotel. It's on the second floor. Can't remember the name of the hotel. Just look up Giada's. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
But phenomenal.
I suggest you take a look at the main restaurant in Mandalay Bay. They have a wine cellar. It's multi-floor, all glass, and they have these angels that have like these pulleys attached, and they kind of fly up and grab the bottle of wine that's 3 stories tall. But this whole thing is enclosed with glass. I mean, it's so cool. It's so impressive.
What hotel is that at?
Probably 4 stories. Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
Pique your interest,
Mandalay Bay.
Chris? Pique your interest?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go watch.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, and it's easy on the eyes, and it's all glass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like homework, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can write it off.
Absolutely.
You can write it off
It's a business expense,
Yeah.
and I'm going there on business.
without a doubt.
Got to see a lot of glass down
Yeah.
there.
So, Chris, what day are you going to go down?
I'm leaving. I'm going to get there Sunday night.
Monday night.
Oh yeah, I'm going to get there Sunday night, so I'm going to be there Monday. So I'm not going to miss anything.
Oh, okay.
Samesies.
Yeah,
So
that's
what-
right.
What
That's
day are you
right.
going back, Chris?
On
What day you
Thursday.
going? Oh, so you're staying for the whole show.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
a big trip.
You speaking?
Not so far, but
No.
I'll be prepared just in case.
Nice. Nice.
You never know when those last minute things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. All right,
Hey,
we'll get
What do you
together.
guys What do you guys recommend as far as like somebody like myself, as far as the show goes? What not to miss, or what are I wish I was as blessed to go them 4 days. That would be amazing, but I don't think I can get
Too
away
much.
from my business. What do you guys recommend? Like, what do you guys see key from just a rookie like myself to go in and wet my boots there?
Go to the booth with the alcohol.
Yeah. Find the booth with all the beer, free beer.
Fair
I
enough.
would
There you go.
I would stop the first 2 or 3 booths. If I'm you, the first 2 or 3 booths I stop at are going to be the biggest vendors that you currently purchase from. You want to see all them, shake all their hands.
Hmm.
And then you said you want to get into manufacturing. We
Yep.
we started our manufacturing hunt probably 2 years before we got into the manufacturing at Glass Build. Just start taking in all the machines, getting to know, like it's a fraternity of manufacturers. They're all they all network together, and you want to talk to the service people because you'll find whatever machines you want, but the key to those machines lasting is the service.
Mm,
And I'd be happy to tell you which ones have good service and which ones don't.
perfect. That's great.
And that's what you want to do. Yeah. One question I ask anybody before I buy a machine is like, I know I don't say this, our guy in our factory does. He wants a red phone. He won't buy a new machine if they don't give him a direct line to somebody. Because some of the machines we have, when we put in a ticket, they're like, well, we'll process the ticket and somebody will get back to you within 72 hours. 72 hours. Like we can't have a machine down for 3 days
Right.
before they even call you. So,
Can
Right.
you speak
so I wouldn't
Italian?
buy any machine that doesn't have a red phone for service
Awesome.
Good.
because that'll
Great
crush
advice.
you.
Yeah. Great advice, Keith.
Right. That is great advice, man. Good answer. Well, there you go. That's a good note to end it on. Thanks for showing up, everyone. Thanks, especially to you, Justin. Thanks for coming tonight. It's really.
No, thank you guys for having me, and
Yeah, man,
thank
good
you,
to see you.
Bill. Yeah, thank you, Bill. Thanks for reminding me about it, and I'm just so thankful for you guys, and just thankful for this beautiful sky and everything. So just thank you guys, absolutely.
Pleasure,
You got your
pleasure to
priorities
meet
in
you.
order. Yeah.
Hope to see you back next week.
All right, man.
I will be there. I can assure you.